In art, space refers to the spaces within objects, and that within the area around those objects. Space and volume are closely related concepts. Volume measures the amount of the three-dimensional space that an object occupies. Space refers to the physical area in which an object exists. So, a space has width, depth, and height, while the volume of a rectangular prism, a three-dimensional shape that has 6 rectangular faces, is calculated by lengths times by width times by height. Real space is the physical area something occupies. Implied space refers to the illusion of space created in an artwork. Three-dimensional objects, sculptures, architecture, products, and jewellery are real forms that take up a real volume in real space, but they don't have to show space in a realistic way or as it really is. They may have a false sense of perspective, making their interior stretch further into the distance than they do in real life. One example of this is the Borromini Perspective Gallery at Palazzo Spada in Rome. In 1652, Cardinal Spada hired Francesco Borromini to create an architectural folly with an optical illusion, helped by an Augustinian priest called Giovanni Maria da Bitondo, who was a mathematical genius. The long corridor of columns looks almost 120 feet long, but it's actually only 26 feet in length. With the sculpture of Mars at the end just 23 inches high, all tucked in nicely to Cardinal Spada's internal garden courtyard. The floor and the ceiling are at angles, tilting up and down to the vanishing point, which is the sculpture of Mars at the end. And the columns on either side are reduced to size to fit in. It's an amazing thing to see, but just be warned, when we went, the guards in the picture gallery were very strict and wouldn't even let me sip from a bottle of water. When creating two-dimensional artworks, the artist can suggest space using a range of methods. Size. If you create larger shapes, they seem closer, and smaller ones seem further away. Colour. Warm, vibrant colours that are bright, strong, and full of energy, and darker tones seem to come forward and feel closer to the viewer. Cooler, less vibrant colours and paler tints recede and seem further away. Overlapping. When a shape covers part of another shape, that first shape looks like it's closer. When one object is in front and another is behind, a sense of perspective is produced. And there's also a sense of depth to the picture. Placement. When objects are placed higher in the frame of view, they look further away, as if they're closer to the vanishing point, the point where parallel lines come together when they are shown in perspective. Perspective itself. When lines become closer together as they get closer to the vanishing point, this produces a sense of depth and can make flat shapes seem like three-dimensional forms with volume. Atmospheric perspective. When objects are shown in more detail and have clearer outlines and edges, they seem to be closer to the viewer. Those with less details and that are less clearly defined, maybe with fuzzy edges, appear further away. Both real and implied spaces can be positive or negative. Positive space is the space occupied by the objects. Negative space is the empty space around and between objects. In architecture, the structure of the buildings occupies the positive space and creates the negative spaces that people live and work in. The interior is the space inside a building. The outside space is called the exterior. An enclosed space is one that is surrounded by a structure with few or small openings. An open space is one with larger openings or fewer walls or other barriers.